So welcome back with another 8.1, the element 8, the first part of element 8, health, welfare and work environment requirements. So only the standard requirements, how the environment should look like for our employees' health, what things must be in place and implemented, available, readily available, and all the welfare facilities we're going to discuss inshallah in detail in line with NEBOSH theories. And also ILO conventions are also giving some, like ILO Convention 120, Hygiene, Commerce and Offices Convention 1964, number 120, or ILO Convention 165, Health and Safety in Construction Convention 1988, number 167, says what? This is kind of a welfare provision as per ILO, that cleaned, uncontaminated, potable drinking water must be available for all the employees. Sanitary conveniences and also washing facilities, changing rooms, accommodation for clothing, rest and eating facilities. As per ILO, these are the welfare facilities must be available for all the employees, and male and female, of course, accordingly. And Saudi government, they also have certain requirements for the better protection or protective environment for the women actually. So those requirements must also be adhered and followed, in line with Saudi regulations, Masha. Now, what are the minimum standards? The drinking water is wholesome, labeled if not. Sanitary conveniences, sufficient numbers, like separate for men and women, protected from weather, and clean, lit, and also ventilated. Provision for the disabled, washing facilities should be close to the toilets and changing rooms. Showers if required, hot and cold water, soap, water, towels, means of drying you. So same thing, mashallah, like you, Sadara, especially, I'm sure you have luxurious level of facilities, in line with the ILO, already are well implemented. So same with the changing rooms for special work wear, lit, clean and ventilators, separate facilities for men and women, and accommodation for clothing like lockers, personal clothing, clean and secure, separate storage for dirty work wear, and make sure you have rest and eating facilities like sufficient seats and tables. Away from work location, hygienic environment, means of preparing hot food and drink, separate facilities for new and expectant mothers. So these are the minimum standards, not the maximum. Maximum you can give much better than ILO requirements even, but these are the minimum standards which we surely need to fulfill. Now, work environment requirements, the number one is the space, adequate space to allow workers to perform tasks safely. Not the congested environment, like you have a workshop, you have a machine shop, but it's too congested. So better shop floor management must be there with a very nice allocation of space for each segment of your machine, or even the people who are going to stand and operating that machine. Make sure the sufficient space is there. Same way for all the processes. Sitting, appropriate sitting, like stable backrest and footrest where appropriate. Especially I would recommend for the females, because they're not so much strong the way the men are found there, So ventilation, sufficient supply of fresh or purified air. Heating, reasonable temperature indoor, like sanitary work 16 degree, inactive or seated, manual work 13 degree Celsius. So lighting, adequate lighting could be 500 lux, 300 lux, according to the nature of our process or the area. The lighting can be improved, would be sufficient all the way around as per the nature of the process. Now, work environment requirements, like minimum levels achieved, measures and lux. Natural light is the best. So it's a game of ventilation, the way you design your building. Lighting adjusted to the level of detail required. Local lighting may be necessary, local lighting on critical areas, no reflection or glare, no creation of shadows even. So no flickering, suitable for the environment. Emergency lighting should be provided if mains power fails actually. And all these things are well designed, incorporated while you were even constructing your building. Now we have a group exercise. What are the health issues associated with working in hot environments? and cold environments? And how can these health risks be controlled? What are the health issues associated with working in hot environment or cold environment? And how we can control those risks actually? Over to you, please. Voluntarily, anybody, if you want to speak up, even as per your internal procedures. What are the health issues associated with working in hot environment, especially in summer season, like in Saudi Arabia? We all know what can go wrong. And in the cold environment, now we have winter season almost penetrating day by day, more deeper. So, what health issues could be there? Over to you, please. What are the health issues associated with working in hot environments and cold environments? And how can these health risks be controlled or minimized or bring them at acceptable level or as low as reasonably practicable? Anyone, please? Like in hot environment, one of the big issues is the dehydration. That just give me an example, or heat stroke. Any other issues you believe could be there? And in our Saudi Arabia, we also face several, skin burns actually, especially in. So any other issues related to hot environment? And it's not like external only, even within your plant, within your several areas where you are using even the machinery or the equipment, and that kind also producing a lot of heat. So within that hot environment, what kind of issues could be there? Yes, please. Whatever you are thinking, just share. So this is how we can learn from each other. Whatever your understanding is there, because since you are going to be a safety leader, mashallah, or already working as a safety leader. So these are our day-to-day challenges to manage with. Whenever people are working in hot environment, there could be some processes also, which are terrible, in shape of heat. Yes, please. Okay, guys, so in line with the NEBOSH theories, these are some issues, effects of exposure in the hot environment like dehydration, muscle cramp, heat stress, heat exhaustion, or even heat stroke, burn skin damage. And in cold environments is hypothermia, frostbite, or even, slip injuries, especially on icy floors, or freeze burn injuries. So these are some of the effects of hot environments and cold environments. Now, what are the best preventive measures, especially for the hot environment? The best thing is the ventilation or insulate, shield heat sources from where you believe heat is more coming, better to interrupt and put insulation and shielding in between and provide cool refuges or even, drinking water, frequent breaks, job rotation. That means kind of administration controls you can implement and appropriate clothing. And for the cold environment, prevent or protect from drafts or even shields, lab cool surfaces, even PP insulating. Provide warm refuges and also frequent breaks, job rotation, access to warm food and drinks, and treat icy floors. So these are some of the preventive measures in line with NEBOSH theories, but still you are open to research. As per OSHA, how do we prevent our employees while working in hot environment? as per OSHA regulations, how our employees could be more safer in cold environment, what things we're going to implement. Same way as per Sadara internal procedures, as per SABIC, Royal Commission, as per Saudi Aramco, so as per Saudi Electricity even, or as per Saudi government, like Ministry of Health, they are guiding how to work, how to be safe in hot environments, and what precautions we can follow and implement. Same way for the cold environment. So no harm to research. That is why the new trend of NEBOSH is to research, to find out the best possible solutions and implement them accordingly. And those would be justifiable and globally acceptable for sure. So that was all about the 8.1.